short backhand, man. Look how short that backhand is.
I'm getting a little bit more snap now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do with your hand positioning? I think we deal with two hands, with two things. It's your left hand and your right hand. Here the hands are together. I think Burgess has one of the best two-handed backhands. He does this kind of dash step in the backhand with the hands together on the racket. Racket stays upright just like his forehand, but his forehand has a bigger backswing. I think when your hands are together, it keeps your hand positioning perfect on every shot. So I think it takes out one less thing to worry about. But that being said, I haven't hit a two-handed backhand in a long time. I don't remember how I used to do it. There's that dash step, you get the max backswing, you get your weight evenly balanced. The thing about Burgess is he never stands up. I watch him play a set and he just doesn't stand up. His knees are always bent. And he's a really big guy, so it's really difficult to do this. But notice the right arm is straight, the left arm is slightly bent. And then he fully extends the arms to contact, pushing that left arm through the shot. The back leg's coming in with the hands together. Makes impact in front of his front foot or close to his front foot. You see all the weight coming in. You see how balanced he is. His back is straight. The key is his hands are together and knees are bent. When your knees aren't bent, you have to bend at the waist, and when you bend at the waist, it's hard to transfer weight forward. It's like you're at an L if you bend at the waist, but if you bend your knees, it's easy to rotate through. Also, the other thing to do, you must have full extension of your hands through your shot, kind of like a golf swing. Notice how straight the left arm is, and the racket goes right through the shot. It comes over the shoulder. All the weight's been transferred into the ball. He's already rotated his shoulders. Points the butt cap at his target. But the hands start out together. I'm assuming his left hand's in his backhand grip and his right hand just switches to his backhand grip. Keep an eye on the right hand. Slight switch. So it's more of a left hand dominant or backhand, because you can have two kinds of backhands, right? Left hand dominant, right hand dominant, and you two do it together. His knees are always bent. It's a weight transfer to the legs. Both hands are in position on the racket. Monfils is a little bit different, but he's a different kind of stature. Non-racket hand already in the backhand grip. Does the same sort of dash step to the ball. Racket points up. Left hand is set, right hand is set. They're both arms are bent, elbows are in. He's going to dash step into the ball, transfer weight. He has a cross step, the right arm is bent, the left arm is extended. I'm kind of surprised they don't hit it open. A lot of these guys have two in the backhand, they're hitting it with the closed stance, where the left leg's in front of the right leg. And so I always thought that everyone was trying to hit open stance, but it's kind of hard to hit open stance. The arm extends through a shot. Watch the back leg. The right arm is straight, but the wrist is bent. Set the racket below the ball. That's why you always wonder, like, how do these two-handed backhand people hurt their left hand? Is that wrist when they're doing this kind of flick action. He's set up. He's balanced. He'll turn his hand into the shot. Right there, with the hands extended, because the arms are stretched out. That's like the right leg actually gets straightened out pretty well. But the hands start out together, the racket set up behind him, the arms were straight initially, then he makes impact with the racket below the ball, then he flips right through. Watch how still his head is. His legs and his head, so still, and the legs flip over. There's one thing about the closed stance. You have to take an extra step to come out of the shot, right? You're going to have to bring that left leg over and come back to position. But he's very athletic. So to play like Monfils is actually kind of hard. But you can learn from him by keeping your head still and have your left hand and backhand grip. I think his name is Cass, but he does something very different, interesting. Watch his non-racket hand. See how it drops down? Starts with at the throat of his racket. He might be doing this to keep the racket head moving around. It's actually easy to manipulate your racket head when your racket's higher up on the frame. But I actually think it's hard to drop that racket, the non-racket hand, into the correct positioning every time. But that being said, when you get used to spinning your racket in your hand, I spin my racket before I return, I can find my grips by touch. His hands are placed properly. Does the same color dash step a little bit right there. You want to have your weight in your back foot, then step into the ball and transfer weight, and then transfer the weight into the head of your frame. Does the same thing, kind of drops it below the racket head. Non-racket hand on the bracket, drops it down. I think it's easier to have your left hand position than to have it move into position. But this is a matter of technique. Because here, Monfils drops the racket head. Previously he had his rackets on both, right? But now he drops it. He's shifting the hand. So earlier he hit one where his hands were together, and now he's dropping the hand down. See how the racket starts to throw and then drops down? And turns his frame, turns the grip. It's a straight back positioning. Let's watch when he course the point. You're going to serve, then recover, they drop their hand. I don't think I would teach this. I think it'd be difficult to drop the hand down every time. Same kind of closed stance. Here's a very short backswing. That's his backswing right there. I don't know why they're hitting closed stance backhand. I guess it's really hard to hit the open stance. But I think it's a matter of you want to transfer weight forward. But once the hands are positioned here, it's just bring the racket forward. You just have to get used to getting your left hand into position. Drop the racket head again. The arms are straight, but notice how close the racket is to his body. His hips are starting to open. You want to keep the racket close to your body, because the closer the racket is to the body, the easier it is for you to turn into the shot. When your arms get away from your body, it's harder to turn. You need more strength. But by keeping your elbows close to your body, you can rotate with your torso, and your arms will follow. Then you straighten your arm out through the shot, right there. See that left hand? It's basically like a golf swing. Verdasco does the same thing with his hands. See, his hands are up there, and he drops it down right there. You gotta drop it down. The ball's not even in the scene yet. The hands are together, and he's moving with the shot. He's gonna turn to his right and step. Turn, turn. Does the dash step too also. Really short prep. Puts all his weight on that back foot and he's gonna step into the shot. By this time, his racket is already in position. His hands are on position. He turns his back to his opponent, so you get a good torso load, because you always want to hit the two-handed backhand with your shoulders and your waist, not with your arms. So I actually didn't notice how many people actually do this. I never knew Verdasco or Koss did this. My friend does this, but I never knew, right? On the returns, he drops the hand right there. Then he goes to that other position. So return, the hands are already down. It might be because he has extreme grips between the forehand and backhand, so he has to turn it. He has to turn the racket head with the free hand to get the forehand. I think it'd be easier just to have your hands together like this guy. That's pretty much what I would teach. Hands are together, are in position. They turn. It looks like he has a little bit of space between the two hands. When you have space between your two hands, it creates more control of the racket head. I still think Burgess has the best, most textbook two-hand backhand ever. But it's hard to play this over and over. to have the discipline to set up like this over and over. But I prefer to have your hands together, knees bent, rotate to a shot. I think it becomes a matter of your style. You can have your hands apart and then put them together to hit. I prefer having hands together. I think it's easier, but slower to manipulate the racket head. I guess in the beginning I would teach them to have their hands together and then work into the point where they get used to it. I would have my left hand in the backhand grip and my right hand would be my forehand grip. And I would just shift it with the racket in my hand. So it's just interesting to see how people hit with their, what to do with their racket hand and non-racket hand.
That's a short backhand, man. How short that backhand is.
And everything. I'm getting a little bit more snap now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.